funniest thing in the world, right, is the hypocrisy of those who call themselves philosophers. Is the most ironic thing that anyone could possibly imagine. You know, you call yourself a philosopher, you're a lover of wisdom, but the moment, right, that wisdom comes to you, you reject it. You say, oh, well, no, I'm right. And you have this confirmation bias, and it's insane to me to see the philosophers out there who are not devoted to the truth. They're not devoted to the truth. They're not devoted to rational, intrinsic belief. And the best philosophers in the world were people, right? They were people of faith, right? And if you read the Bible, you know, there's so much, you know, philosophy, so much wisdom within that book. And, you know, I think that, you know, understanding is a very important thing. I think that, you know, but I do think most atheists, they don't care about truth. They do not care about truth. They care more about an agenda than they do anything else. And it shows in their actions. And their actions, right, truthfully, in the end, is what will be their downfall. Because at the end of the day, they cannot sit there and call themselves in any realm a philosopher. You cannot call yourself a philosopher if you're not devoted to the truth. And guess what? The truth does not have a filter. It doesn't have a filter. It's something that is always there regardless of personal opinion. Regardless of personal opinion. It is not a biased thing. And, you know, saying that, right, as philosophers, right, we must look at ourselves and say, in what way am I being dishonest? In what way am I not doing what I need to do? Right? Understanding that is something that completely and utterly is important, to call yourself a philosopher and a theologian and a psychologist. And I find it funny how, you know, in these groups, right, in these groups of philosophers, people who are so kind, right, and so truthful and so devoted to the idea of wisdom, that they sit there and they group up with their little buddies like cowards. They can't take you on one-on-one in a debate. They can't take you one-on-one in you know, something else. You know, and it shows their cowardice. It shows their foolishness. And the fact that they have to sit there, the fact that any, you know, group has to sit there and you know, attack you from multiple directions, right, shows that they cannot realistically back up their argument. And any philosopher out there, you know, try not to put yourself in, if you're, you know, a Christian philosopher, you know, going against the masses, right? Strive for one-on-one debates. Don't go into groups of nihilistic, foolish, you know, incompetent people, and you'll find incompetent people like that everywhere. Now, when I say incompetent, I don't mean necessarily their personal, you know, views, you know, because your views within your mind, you know, sometimes they're actually, you know, given quite, you know, the amount of thought. But I do mean their actions, right? Their actions betray themselves. They betray themselves. And you know, I hope to post more Christian and Catholic content um, for my brothers and sisters out there. Hopefully, we can get a debate arranged with, just some people and continue these videos. And I'm grateful to be here today. Right, I'm here because um, I have a purpose, right, and God loves me, and He's trying to flesh me out, and hopefully that in the end, right, that I stick, and we all stick, right, to the will of God, and I'll do some videos also breaking down, you know, some of my political views too. So, we'll figure that out. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you.